Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 3 years and 10 months now. Oh, if you want to know what I'm healing from, that's all in the description box below. Today I am doing a video, as per request, on what is going on in our particular area around the quarantine and physical distancing and all that stuff. And so because I am in my house so much, and I'm kind of a homebody anyway, and it's been winter, so I really am a homebody. Other than going out for walks, I am really at home a lot. What has changed for me right now, because it is spring, is I get to go out for walks more, but also because the weather is warmer. The neighborhood we are in, everybody thinks barbecuing is such a great idea. Remember, I have multiple chemical sensitivity. I'm very sensitive to chemicals and petrochemicals, and smoke is one of the things that is a great irritant for me. Barbecues in particular are a particular issue because they tend to have a lot of things like butane, lighter fluid, petrochemicals like whatever kind of starters they put in charcoal, whatever. And all of that stuff is an issue for me. So if there is a barbecue grill going outside and I try to go out for a walk, I end up with a migraine. So I can't. And that has been frustrating because it seems like in the evenings when I want to go for a walk with my family, at least the past couple of times I have not been able to. Now several times I have been able to, and I'm very grateful for that. But the past couple of times I've tried, which is like 2 days in a row, I couldn't. And I tried one time, even though I could smell the smell, I was like, well, maybe it'll be okay because we're outside, but it was so strong, and no matter where we walked, it kept getting stronger. So I was only able to go like basically to the end of the block and back. And I had to come back in because I was already starting to feel the headache come on, and I was starting to feel ill from it. So the plight of the chemically sensitive. So I have to stay in the house sometimes with the windows closed, which is really frustrating. However, right now I have them open and I'm enjoying that. So until I smell somebody light a barbecue, I will get to have them open. So because I don't leave the house very often myself, I am going to bring in another perspective. I don't really go to the grocery stores. I stay home and make the food and stay home. And my husband is the one who goes out and does most of the grocery shopping. We are currently living with his parents in their big old house, and we occupy the lower level and they occupy the main level. And even a lot of times for them, he is the one who goes out. So he's the one who has most contact with the world. So rather than me try to tell you what it's like out there, I'm gonna interview my husband, Josh, and ask him what it's like out there. How is it different now in the grocery stores, and what's it like when you go out?
Well, the first thing you notice is that the parking lots are generally, well, at least the times I go, they're pretty empty. So, I mean, you can go and see maybe like 15 cars where normally you'd see 5 times that many. Now, granted, I try to go closer to closing time when things are quieter.
For all the grocery stores?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Because I know he does that for Costco.
And actually, for Whole Foods, it doesn't get as busy. Yeah, Costco, I have wait till later because Costco it's always busy. I mean, oh, that's not true. I mean, if you get there like 30 minutes before they close, it's actually pretty quiet. You can get through there really quickly. But yeah, every place has less customers. People tend to keep a good distance, so you see a lot of the social distancing.
Are there like markings in the grocery stores or anything that the grocery stores are doing specifically to make that distancing happen?
Yeah, so they'll have signs when you walk in talking about how they practice social distancing. Some places will actually...
I like to call it physical distancing because we're not socially distancing from each other. We're not like not talking to each other. We are just physically keeping a distance that has been deemed a safer distance.
Right.
For the...
And so you'll see signs that talk about it. Some places will wipe down cart handles for you. So for instance, Costco always has a person out there wiping down the handles. It looks like pretty much all places that usually carry wipes are keeping them in stock, which is really nice, so that you can always wipe down your own handles.
Just out of
if something's not there.
curiosity, the person wiping down the handles, are they wearing gloves to protect their hands from all the...
I don't know. A lot of employees wear gloves.
I would just think because your skin would dry out so much if you're
Yeah.
constantly having to touch all that hand sanitizer. That's like a lot of... Oh, it would be really...
Yeah, well, yeah,
just for
some
their
kind of a
own
spray
protection
bottle,
from
so-
the chemicals and that wipe stuff.
Right. And then, but yeah, employees, you see, as time goes on, more and more employees will wear masks, or scarves and gloves and things like that.
Oh, like so the cashiers. I would
So,
think just for their
Everybody,
own safety.
stock
yeah.
people who stock shelves, cashiers. Well, I mean, not everybody does it as an employee. I mean, I guess they have the option whether they want to or not. But like I said, like yesterday when I went, I think most employees had some kind of gloves and or face coverings. Also, in the checkout lanes of pretty much every store, at least grocery store or Costco that I've been to, they now have plexiglass shields between you and the checker. So
Really?
yeah, and so Costco was the first one that I saw that did
Can you
it.
take a picture of that next time you go?
I guess so.
I'd like to see that.
If I remember, I don't know. I'm a germaphobe, so I'm always really kind of stressed out and thinking about
I'll text
everything when I'm
I'll text
in
you
that
and remind you.
situation. So, but yeah, I mean, I was actually, because I know that Ichoda wanted to do the interview, so I was kind of thinking about the grocery store yesterday, and when I was checking out,
Plexiglass.
pretty much everybody who was either waiting in line or checking out had masks and gloves. So more and more people, now I see less people without masks and gloves than people with. Before it was the other way. Like you'd see a couple people would have a masks and gloves, but in general most people wouldn't. Now that also depends on what stores you go to. Like when I would go to Whole Foods yesterday had a lot of people wearing masks and gloves. But when I went to Petco, nobody except for me and employees had masks and gloves. And then when you checked out, they actually didn't have a plexiglass thing. They just draped up like a big, kind of like, those plastic drop cloths. So a big sheet of plastic, but it was clear enough that you could see through it well. And they put a big sheet in front of the cashiers. And they had about, maybe like a foot of distance at the bottom where you could pass stuff under. And so places are really starting to, but I mean, Petco is considered one of those stores that can't close. So,
Well, yeah,
No.
you gotta feed your animals.
right. So all these places that have to be open, either grocery stores or other places like that, pet stores, they're all implementing things to help protect their employees at this point.
Oh, Muffins just went behind that. There's a chest. No, show him what she got. Muffins just went behind.
Fake leaf.
It's a fake leaf from a fake plant that used to be in this room, and she just went behind and found it. And why don't you let her?
Because she's going to destroy it and eat it. Please don't.
It's fabric,
I know, but I don't want her. You don't know what it's covered in.
dust.
I don't like to feed her plastic. Possible.
That's true. She was just so pleased with herself because she went back
Yeah.
there. That's the ruffling plastic you heard when he was talking. As she went back behind there, she found this thing. Sorry. Okay, that's a little detour. Something I've noticed is that the farmers markets in Missouri, they've just opened here and they've started doing online ordering. So you order online for pickup, and depending on the vendor, because you order from the individual vendors, and then depending on how the vendor does payment, like the one I ordered from last week, I paid in advance, and then Josh went to go pick it up. And what was it like when you got there?
Well, the weather wasn't great to start. It was rainy and
It was the first market of the
cold.
season.
Yeah, it was pretty crappy.
Yeah.
But when I showed up there, my first thought was, the market's not here. And so, because usually it's in a parking lot and you see a bunch of tents and vendors, and there was nothing. But then I saw signs. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's around here somewhere. And then I saw one tent, and thankfully the sign on the tent was the place I was looking for, because each had told me the name of the farm beforehand.
Heartbeat Farm
Heartbeat
is where
Farm.
we order from. Yeah.
So I saw the sign that said Heartbeat, so I was like, oh good, they're here. Maybe they're here just for me. So then when I went
Maybe.
up, it turns out that only them and a, I don't know, meat farmer, rancher.
Yeah, grass-fed. They do grass-fed beef
grass-fed
and poultry.
beef. Yeah. And,
They have meaty bones, which I found out. So I'm going to order those for muffins for this week.
And so they were the only ones there, and they were just giving people stuff that they ordered online. So there was no browsing. They didn't have any wares out.
Right.
They were literally just waiting outside, and then you come up, and then they go into the truck and get whatever you ordered. So,
Which obviously in a way is unfortunate, because part of the joy of farmers markets is discovering what people have for available. It's not generally a pre-order kind of business, but in this case, the vendors have created it so I guess the coordinator of the farmers market, along with the vendors, made it so that you can pre-order and then you just go do curbside pickup. So they just have the one tent. So I went to the farmers market website, and this is so local to us. Like, I don't even know if the other farmers markets in the area are doing it this way. This is just the one that we go to. This is the closest one to us that has organics. And so we go to I went to their website. They have a list of vendors who have ways to order. Some of them, because they are farmers, only have an email address or a phone number. So they don't even have like a price list or a website. Most of them have a website. Not all of them, because, some farmers are old school and they just farm and that's what they do, and they're not technologically available. So, but the ones that we regularly would order from anyway, and then because of that, I found this beef vendor, and now we can get meaty bones for muffins. So in a way, that was pretty cool. That's cool because the farmers and the farmers markets are working together to make food available to people, which is really important, obviously, in times coming up, and I really appreciate that they're doing that. Another thing I have noticed about just the neighborhood we're in a suburban neighborhood, which generally I think the only people usually you see out walking are the prominent exercisers, like the joggers. Like, you'll see them, and you'll see the people who walk their dogs. This is not generally, like, people don't generally go for walks or even ride their bikes around this neighborhood. Not really. Not before.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, we got here in December, so.
That's a good point. I guess we don't know that to be true, but I'm kind of, just based on what I was noticing before, when it was nice enough to go on walks and be outside. It's not really something people do a lot.
Well, the parks are absolutely full on beautiful days.
Here?
Oh, yeah. Just hundreds of people walking around.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know in some places they're closing the parks. But
Well, they've
not
since
here.
closed them, but before they closed them.
Oh,
when you'd
now
have
they're
warm
closed?
Yeah. When you'd have warm days before, there would be lots and lots of people. They'd be packed.
But now they're all closed?
Yes.
So there's nobody at the parks?
Nope.
That's something to notice. Oh, are any of the grocery stores doing any rationing or?
Yes. So, I mean, not well, there's limits, so I guess that'd be rationing.
Of toilet paper?
Toilet paper, paper towels,
But not food.
hand sanitizer. Some of them have limits on food. Like, I tried to get more than 2 bags of potatoes from one of the places, and they said 2 bags was the limit.
Rude!
But so we mostly buy fresh food, and I haven't seen, except for the potatoes, there's no limits on the fresh food because, I mean, honestly, who's going to hoard it? Because it goes bad.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean,
Other than potatoes and onions. 'Cause,
Right.
Yeah.
You just can't hoard bananas because they'll go bad.
In 2 days.
Costco.
I'm gonna hoard avocados.
Costco has limits on stuff, but again, it's like the hand sanitizers. It's the
That's because
the
that
wipes.
one guy bought $73,000 worth of hand sanitizer to try to.
Well, they also get
corner
in
the
small. They
market
get in
on
like a
it.
pallet. My mom was saying. So my
Right,
mom
right.
is over 65, so she went to one of the grocery stores early in the morning
Oh,
because
yeah,
they give you an
tell
hour
about
at the
that.
beginning of the day.
Yeah.
So the first hour of the day
For
the
elderly
grocery store for people
people.
who are elderly or immune compromised or more at risk of getting the virus, they give them an hour to not be with the general populace, and so they my mom went and she said there's about a pallet's worth of, say, like toilet paper, and everybody I think was limited to one.
Yeah, that's because of
And-
the people who initially bought 20
Right.
for
Well,
a
and that's the
family
thing
of 3,
is
and you're not going to use 20 in like years, so
right.
it's crazy.
And there's also places that put up no returns. So I guess people have tried to have bought a ton of it, not realizing that you could get it still, and then they're trying to return the excess, and they're not accepting returns for those types of things.
So that's good. They're not rationing fresh food, which is awesome.
I mean, most
Oh.
places are really only rationing like toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, water sometimes, like bottled waters and stuff.
Right, because that was another thing people were hoarding. And then I've noticed on Amazon, I'm sure this is in other countries too, I've noticed that there is definitely price gouging on certain items like toilet paper, hand sanitizer, but even things like bird feeders. And I've noticed that the price has gone up like on, I don't know, like a lot of items. And maybe too it's because, oh, spring is coming and that's when people put out bird feeders, but they really should put them out in winter. But anyway, so I was just noticing like prices have gone up like 30% on a bunch of different things, and there definitely is price gouging on a lot of different items, and not just the ones you would think. Like even, for example, like dry wipes, not the wet wipes, but dry wipes, the prices have gone up a lot on those. Just all kinds of stuff, because you can do like a price history if you have like the Honey app or whatever. You can do a price history on Amazon items, and I've noticed that a lot of things have just shot up in price, which I thought was really rude. I was mad about the bird feeders because I was gonna go buy a bird feeder because I wanted to put some out for the cat, and the price was so much higher than it was like 2 weeks before that. And I was like, what? Same bird feeder. So, and not just that one, but all of them. I looked at all of them and I was like, it's gone up a lot. So anyway, that's something that I find frustrating. I feel like a lot of retailers like that, like Amazon and other ones who do a lot of online business, are totally taking advantage of the fact that people can't go out to stores right now. And it's like, this is my only option in a lot of instances. Let's see. I don't know. Is there anything else that you can think that has drastically shifted or changed since this has all started, and since
because of this? No, I mean, like I said, the biggest things that stand out is the lack of people in stores. You know, before when I would go, say, around 5 o'clock, there'd be lots of people in the grocery store, people coming home from work, things like that. Now, I can be in the produce section and there'll be like 2 other people there.
I
In the entire
noticed
produce section.
now, because we buy fresh food, usually he goes to the grocery store basically every day or every other day. And even he's been going to the grocery store less and buying. I don't know if you buy more. Do you buy more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Try to.
buying more and going less frequently. So now he'll actually let us run out of things. Whereas before he'd be like, oh, we're almost out of this, I'm gonna run to the store. And now he's like,
Well, I used to stagger things, so
Yeah.
not on purpose, but like we'd run out of something every day. But now I try to make sure that when I go, I stock up on everything so that I don't run out. Just because I don't want to go to the store if I don't have to. So,
oh, that's okay. So that's what it is.
yeah.
You are being more aware and careful. Yeah.
Yeah. So lack of people there. People wearing masks and stuff now. But yeah, I mean, it's just quiet.
It is. Other than the traffic you hear going by outside, it's just kind of annoying. But usually it's more, so you hear it because the windows are open. Okay, Josh he was taking a long lunch break to do this interview with me, and he has to go. So thank you.
Fine. Yeah,
Thank you for doing this interview,
sure.
and I'll wrap up the video by myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
So that's what's happening. around here. If you have any other questions about what's happening that we didn't answer, please leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them, or ask my husband to answer them, because he has the outside of the house perspective and I have the what's going on in here perspective. So like I said, my life hasn't changed a whole bunch. It's just spring now, so I get to go for walks and I've been doing my seedlings and stuff like that. But the world out there has definitely changed. And that was interesting to hear about the plexiglass, because he hadn't told me about that before. I didn't know about that one. I got to learn more today than I had previously learned about how it was out there. So I hope this was useful and interesting for other people as well. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button over there. You can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post new videos. My content is usually related to healing with medical medium information and my healing journey. But sometimes I do videos like this, and sometimes I do videos about kind of random stuff that also kind of ties into my healing. Anyway, thank you for watching so much. I hope that you guys are faring well in this quarantine and using the time to your advantage to cultivate new hobbies and get lots of rest. And I'm guessing probably a lot of you with chronic illness, this is not going to change your routines all that much. I pray that everyone gets through this in the best way, and that your healing continues, and that you are able to keep your adrenaline and stress levels low, and find the joy and find the gratitude and live your best life and find your best healing. I love you. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.